Okay, so welcome back to part two of the $500,000 in 57-day case study. So if you haven't watched part one, you want to make sure you go back and watch that, okay? Because in part one, I did go over a lot of content to do with how to set up your tracking properly and how to track for success. So you know your numbers and focus on the key metrics that's really going to determine how your campaigns are going to perform. And part two is all going to be about testing, okay? But if you haven't watched part one, you need to make sure you do that before you actually watch part two, or else a lot of this stuff won't make sense. But testing has been the lifeblood of my business, okay? And I want you guys to understand that this might be the most valuable video I've actually ever created. And it's all about testing, which is the thing that a lot of people have the hardest time with. But it's going to be the thing that can determine how quickly you can turn a negative campaign into a very, very profitable, lucrative one. Okay, testing. Okay, so again, stay tuned for this video. This video will be in depth. I'll be going through a lot of stuff and a lot of content that usually I don't give away for free. But this content I literally will be giving away for you guys to just be able to take away and literally start applying it immediately. So make sure you take a lot of notes, and without further ado, let's get straight into the content. So I want you guys to understand this, is that you literally might launch the exact same funnel as your competitors, but they might be profitable while you lose money. And this is probably happening with a lot of you guys. We might swipe a funnel that might be doing very, very well for other people, or you might swipe a funnel from a super affiliate and they're running this funnel for weeks, for months on end, but then you try and run the exact same funnel and for some reason you're losing money whilst you know that somebody else is making money. Or let's say, for example, if you're in the e-commerce space, you might actually swipe a specific product from somebody's store that you know is doing well. You can see this person's pushing a lot of traffic to it, but you then run the exact same product for you on your store, and if for some weird reason it just bombs for you and you can't get it to work. And it comes down to this. It's because there are two parts that make up a successful marketing campaign. First of all, you need a high converting marketing funnel, but in addition to that, you need to make sure that you have an ad that targets the right audience. Okay, and that's the second big key thing. So let's say, for example, let's say that you have an offer to do with hairbrushes. Okay, you've got a good ad that you've swiped, you've got a good landing page that you've swiped, and you've got a good offer that's to do with hairbrushes. Okay, and then this is the funnel that you've put together, and you've pretty much taken it from somebody that you know is pushing a lot of volume to this hairbrush offer. You've got a successful funnel. However, if you target that funnel to bald people, you are not going to make money. And the reason why is because the audience, bald people, they evidently don't have hair. And as a result, they are not going to need your specific product that you're promoting, okay? And as a result, what's going to happen is even if you try and run this campaign, yes, you might have a very, very good funnel. Yes, you might have a good ad, but if your targeting is off, you're still going to lose money. Now, there can be subtle differences in targeting that can literally be the difference between the losing campaign and a winning campaign. So you want to make sure that you test different audiences to identify the targeting options that are making you the money and the ones that are losing you the money. So for example, it might not be as evident as bald people versus people with hair. I just wanted to make sure I give you an example that you guys can remember. It might be something subtle that could be the difference in between you having a winning campaign versus a losing campaign. For example, iPhone users may convert on your offer, but Android users might not. Or women may convert on your offer, but men may not. Or 45 to 54-year-olds might convert on your offer. That age range might convert very, very well. But 25 to 34-year-olds may not. And you simply want to put more of your advertising spend into audiences that are profitable for you, and you want to be able to cut spend in places that are losing you money, okay? So the targeting options that could make or break your campaign could be specific websites, especially if you're doing run of network traffic where you're targeting multiple websites at one time. Oftentimes you might find that there's only a few websites that do the best and others might just be garbage. Placements, okay, so specific spots on that website. Sometimes above the fold might do well. Sometimes below the fold might do well. Sometimes mobile placements in some spots might do well. Sometimes other spots might do well. But placements can be a big thing. Demographics as well. So specific age ranges, specific genders, right? Specific interest groups, right? Could do very, very well. Okay, so demographics is a very, very big thing. Places in the world that they might live in. Keywords can be a very, very big thing, and you'll be surprised, especially if you're doing search advertising, that one keyword could be very, very profitable for you, whereas another other keywords can completely bomb for you. Okay, so keywords are a big thing. Countries is another big thing. Different geographical locations could have different conversion rates. Devices, okay, so for example, tablet might convert differently to iPhone or mobile, okay, and mobile might convert differently to desktop. You might find that maybe tablet might be profitable for you, desktop might be profitable for you, but maybe mobile might not be. Okay, so devices can be a very, very big thing. Operating systems. So let's say, for example, you might have a campaign that might work well, and this happens a lot of the time when you're targeting mobile, where you might have a campaign where iPhone converts very, very well for you, but for example Android might not, or even vice versa, where Android might convert well for you in your offer but iPhone may not. Even browsers, so you might find that specific browsers, for example Internet Explorer, might not convert well for you, but Google Chrome might do very, very well. Okay, or maybe Firefox does very, very well, but for example, Opera might do very, very bad. Okay, so you want to make sure that you also test browsers and you look into your browsers. And carriers. Okay, so this is the actual internet service provider on your mobile phone. And oftentimes you might find that, let's say for example, AT&T might have a different demographic, right, to people on Sprint and or T-Mobile as an example. And what you might find is that, especially depending on the carrier that you're on, is going to usually associate with different credits, right, or credit scores that somebody might have. So for example, some carriers, they provide you with mobile phone contracts if you have bad credit, whereas other carriers are a bit more strict and require to have very, very good credit for you to be able to get that carrier. So carriers, right, can be a differentiating factor between somebody's actual financial background as well. Okay, so again, carriers is a very, very big thing. Websites, placements, demographics, keywords, countries, these are all big things, okay? But one of them can be the difference in between you having a very successful campaign versus you having a very, very unsuccessful campaign. Now, as well as testing your targeting, you also want to make sure that you're always testing your funnels, okay? And the goal is to maximize your conversion rates and your EPV, the key metric that we spoke about in part one, compared to what you pay for traffic, and make the highest return on the money that you're spending. So as an example, let's say, for example, that you have a funnel right now that you send your people to, where for every single 10 visitors, you get 3 conversions, okay? And this might not be an optimized funnel. This might be a funnel that you've actually swiped from somebody else, and for you, it's getting you 3 conversions for every single 10 visitors that you have. This might mean that you might be losing money on your advertising, right, in this example. But let's say, for example, if you could improve your conversion rate, okay, through testing, through vigorous testing, and for every single 10 people, you can now get 6 people to convert with a very, very optimized funnel, with an optimized ad, with an optimized funnel, with optimized targeting, then this literally might be the difference between you having a non-profitable campaign and you having a profitable campaign, because now your conversion rates have boosted up, your EPV's boosting up, and you're making more money from your traffic than what you're spending, okay? So again, testing is vitally important. So what would happen if you could double your conversion rates? You will literally double your revenues just by doing that. If you could double your conversion rates, no matter what conversion rate you're getting right now, if you could double it, you will literally double your revenues on the same ad spend, which is why testing is so important, because the person who tests the most literally makes the most. And you need to test elements within your funnel to create profitable campaigns, okay? As an example, I want to go through an example of an actual mail enhancement offer that I actually ran myself. And you'll be surprised at how testing, right, and how literally changing the angles, okay, which is basically changing the marketing theme that we have, can literally influence the campaigns as well, okay, and influence the performance of the campaigns. So, for example, what I was actually doing with this specific offer is I was actually promoting this mail enhancement offer on adult traffic. And I was using the angle of helping somebody get bigger, okay? So I sent people to this landing page, and then after that, I sent them to this specific offer that was to do with the angle of helping somebody get bigger. And it was really, really working well. It crushed it with adult traffic, and I was making a lot of money from it, okay? Now, I thought, you know what, why not just try and run this native? Because a lot of my account managers at the time was telling me that this offer was very, very well on native as well. So I took the same angle of getting bigger, helping somebody get bigger in their department. I ran it on native, and it absolutely bombed, okay? So again, the same offer and the same landing page that I was running on adult traffic, I took it to native, and it was crushing it on adult traffic, but I was bombing on native traffic, and I was wondering what on earth is going on, why? But when I was really thinking about it, I realized that there's a different demographic on native traffic on the sites that I was advertising on compared to adult traffic, okay? So What I then did is I started to realize that a lot of old people was using these sites, and a lot of older people they didn't really care about getting bigger. Okay, a lot of people are with their wives and they don't really care about all that kind of stuff because their wife knows what they're working with. But as an example, one big pain point was erectile dysfunction for these men. Okay, so when you get to about 50, 60 in some places, sometimes you might not be working as well as you did when you was younger. So I changed up the angle, changed up the theme, okay? And as a result, instead of talking about the pill helping somebody get bigger, I sent it to a different offer page, okay? That was to do with older people. And I made a different landing page, right? That was to do with erectile dysfunction. And as a result, it crushed it with native traffic and I started making money again, okay? So again, angles are a big thing. And different angles might work well on different traffic sources. So you have to be creative with it and you have to really, really think and test different angles, okay? Now, after you find a winning angle, what I do is I dig deep and I create a winning, high converting funnel around the angle. So I use a combination of A/B testing and multivariate testing, and all of my media buyers, they use this as well. Okay, so make sure you take note of this, okay? Now, A/B testing for anyone that's new is testing one variable against another variable. So for example, we might be testing one web page with a green button, and then we might test that same web page with a red button. Okay, so we're changing one variable against another variable. Okay, and major businesses and media outlets, they also continually test to analyze how markets respond. So for example, you can see a GQ magazine where they have different people. On these magazines, you've got Dave Franco, Drake, and John Slattery, I think. I've never known, I don't have a clue who he is. But basically, different markets might resonate with different audiences. So, for example, you might have a lot of urban people that might resonate with Drake. You might have a lot of young girls that might resonate with Dave Franco. You might have a lot of older people that might resonate with John Slattery. And then from that point, once they put a few of these magazines out there in the public, they can actually see exactly which people are resonating with what magazines and actually do a bigger run of the magazines that are getting bought the most. Okay. Now with multivariate testing, this is where you're going to be testing multiple variables against each other to find the best combination of variables. Okay. So whereas A/B testing is one variable against another variable, multivariate testing is testing combinations of elements against each other to find the best combination of multiple elements, okay? So, as an example, let's say for example, with A/B testing, we might be testing one image on the left versus another image on the right, okay? So again, this one is a man looking down, looking depressed with his wife in the background. Another one has an image of pills. You might find that the marketplace might resonate with the first one very well, but the version B might be even better. So you might have a campaign that might go from a 32% ROI to a 47% ROI, literally by just testing the image and seeing what images work well for the actual landing page. Okay. Now with multivariate testing, this is where you're actually going to be testing multiple combinations of elements against each other. So for example, the first variation one, we can see that we have the headline, Viagra and Cialis in deep trouble, and we have the image of the man on the bed, okay? Now variation two has the exact same headline, but now a different image, okay? So again, headline one, image two is on variation two, okay? So same headline, different image. Now variation three has a different headline going against a different image, okay? You have suffering from erectile dysfunction. This $5 ED pill saved my 30-year marriage and now makes my husband perform like a teenager again. And variation 4, this is basically a new headline. Basically the headline in variation 3 against that new image. And all of these headlines and image combinations, they're going to be rotating against each other to find the best combination, right, that does the best. So for example, variation 1 might do a 32% ROI. Variation 2 might do a 36% ROI. Variation 3 might do a 47% ROI, and variation 5 might do a 53% ROI. And then from that point, we're going to send traffic, right, all of our traffic to all these variations. Once we've got some statistically significant data, we're then going to focus on sending the rest of that traffic to the best performing variation and absolutely crash it that way. Okay, so again, multivariate testing is huge. Okay, one variation could be the difference in between a profitable campaign and a non-profitable campaign. This is actually a screenshot inside of my Test Easily account where you can see just in one day you can see the big difference, right, in between one variation versus another variation. And again, like, you want to make sure that you test this so you can know and see the performance of that within your campaigns as well. Okay, so there's different elements that you want to make sure that you can test on your landing page. For example, header, okay, the headline, your sub headline, your colors, right, that you have as well within your landing pages, within the headline colors, the sub headline colors, and the header colors. Even button colors as well can be a very big thing. Images and call to actions. Okay. Now, as an example, this is what I'm referring to when I'm talking about testing headers. So for example, on the left, you can see that you have the header that is almost like greeny blue, like turquoise. And then the one on the right has like a dark blue header. Okay, you'll be surprised by literally different colors can have different performances. Okay, with your campaign and with your landing page. The headline. The one on the left has the headline, the simple ED method has big pharma companies in a frenzy. They want it banned. And the one on the right has American men curing their ED with this amazing new method. Viagra and Silas not happy. They want this video banned now. The images, okay, is a very big thing. So one on the left, you have got one of a baby. And then the one on the right, you can see everything again is staying the same except for the images. And the one on the right is from a man, okay, for this specific product. Call to action. You'll be surprised, literally even just changing the color of a call to action can have a difference on your actual landing page conversion rate, okay? So again, the one on the left has blue, the one on the right has orange. Subheadline, right? You can actually see the one on the left has a different subheadline to the one on the right. And the beautiful thing is that a lot of people, they wonder, how on earth do you set up all these tests? How do you set up all these combinations? This is a bit intimidating, this is a bit scary, and I know that's the reason why a lot of people do not test, okay? They don't test because currently up to this point it has been scary to go into the code. If you're not a coder, it can be very intimidating, and it can be very time consuming as well, okay? And people don't want to do that, but testing is what makes the money, okay? And the beautiful thing is, Test Easily literally allows you to set up experiments just like the ones I've showed you, right? Where you're testing headlines, colors, right, images, call to actions, all of those things. It allows you to test and make experiments like this literally in seconds, okay? You don't have to know any coding. You don't have to literally be a technical person. You don't have to be somebody that has to worry about it taking hours for you to learn. Literally, it has a point and click editor, and you can literally double click on any element of your landing page that you want to test, or even on your Shopify store, you can double click on any element that you want to test, or even if you've got ClickFunnels, you can literally double click on any element that you want to test. And literally create experiments, right? All in one go, all under one platform. Okay, so it doesn't just track, it allows you to test, and it literally allows you to test easily. And it's the only all-in-one tracking and testing platform on the market. There's other tracking platforms on the market. There's other testing platforms on the market. A lot of these platforms don't integrate with each other, but Test Easily is the only all-in-one tracking and testing platform on the market right now. Okay, so again, if you want to get access to Test Easily, you can go and get a 14-day trial of Test Easily, and if you want, I'm gonna leave a link as well below for you to get access to it below this video. But again, it's the only all-in-one tracking and testing platform, and this is what we use, right, to be able to create tests on the fly. Okay, so again, I'm gonna give you guys a live demo right now and show you guys how easy it is to set up tests, and show you guys what you want to be testing, and I want to show you guys live and direct with actual live landing page the importance of testing, right, and why you want to go out there and make these tests, okay, and how to really test effectively. Okay, so without further ado, let me go straight into the internet right now, and let me show you guys exactly how to do this and how to set this up for yourself. Okay, so welcome back. So again, like I said, right, testing is the lifeblood of all of your profits in this game. Okay, if you want to be able to successfully advertise, you need to master testing. Because as an example, right, I'm actually logged into one of the ad accounts that I actually have inside of my Facebook Business Manager, where you can see that today we spent about $986 so far. I think it's actually a PST time zone, so it's showing like the day right now is August 31st, but my actual in the UK it should be actually September the 1st, okay, right now. So let me actually refresh the screen so you guys can see this right now. Let me actually refresh the data. So you can see they actually jumped up to $1,031 that we spent so far today. And so far we've actually generated about $2,483. And again, this is just one ad account. We've got multiple that we're running right now. But basically, the main thing I want you to pay attention of, right, is the actual cost, right, per purchase. Okay, so basically our CPA, our cost per acquisition. Now, right now it's at $21. Okay. Now, even though $21 for the specific offer that I'm promoting is making us money, okay, I want you guys to understand this, that if you test, right, and if you can improve your conversion rates, then your acquisition cost is going to go down. And a lot of people, they worry about getting cheap traffic. They try and follow guru strategies, right, guru tactics about getting cheap traffic. But if you want to basically improve how much you're paying, right, for an acquisition, whether it's a lead acquisition or a sell acquisition, instead of focusing on cheap traffic, because traffic costs are always going to rise. why don't you focus on improving your conversion rates? Okay, so your acquisition cost is going to go lower. Because you're actually converting a lot more of that traffic, right, into a lead or into a sell. Okay, so again, testing is going to allow us to bring this number down, okay, bring this acquisition cost down, and it's going to allow us to be able to make a higher return from this money. So instead of maybe spending $1,000 so far, to be able to make back 2,483. This might be $1,000 with proper testing involved, okay? And then once you've done all the tests I'm gonna speak about in this video, to then make it maybe $3,000 or maybe even $4,000, okay? So again, testing is the lifeblood of your business. You need to make sure you are testing, and don't give up on campaigns that are unprofitable right now, because testing can literally make them profitable, okay? So again, this is just today so far. With just one ad account, you guys can literally see or probably imagine what we're doing on a grander scale of things once we're testing multiple campaigns across multiple ad accounts. Okay, so again, what I want to do is I want to give you guys an example as well of what I mean by this and how you can actually set up tests for yourself. So let's say, for example, that we're running a campaign, right, similar to this, okay? So let's say, I'm not saying that right now you guys should just go out there and run the same campaign. I'm just saying, I'm using this as an example right now, okay? So again, this is the type of ad that we'll put out there on Facebook, okay? So you can see that safety device, no weapons or fighting needed. Anyone can use a safety device no matter your age or physical ability. Read more. Then we've got a link to our actual campaign, right, within Test Easily. Please spread the word and tell all of the women in your life, okay? So we've got a picture of somebody that looks a bit deranged, and then we've actually got our ad that says safety device allows women to escape attacker, okay? Now, this is the type of ad that we might run on Facebook, and we might send this specific ad to a specific landing page like this, okay? Where it might say, old woman scared the living crap out of creepy attacker with this simple device, okay? And this specific landing page is the one that I showed you in the tracking module that talks about this specific device, warms people up to wanting to have this device, and then from that point we can try and convert people onto our specific CPA offer. Okay, now again, this is a cool landing page, don't get me wrong, it's a cool landing page, it's probably going to convert. But my whole thing is making sure that we can find and fine-tune this landing page as much as possible to find the best combination of elements and also find the best angles, right, for this landing page that resonates the most. Because old women is one angle, but there's also different angles that we can actually think about what this device could actually help with. So for example, you might want to buy this for your parents, but let's say for example, if you let's say for example, if your parents are old, like they're 70, 80, you might want to buy this for your parents, okay? But saying that, there's a lot of concerned parents right now that might want to buy it for their young daughters, okay? Because there's a lot of people that are predators that might try and prey right on somebody's child, okay? So for example, we might have this specific landing page geared towards younger people and actually make this specific landing page geared towards parents, right, that want to buy this for their specific daughters, okay? So let me give an example of this. Let me give an example of how I actually set up my test to be able to test different angles, maybe an old woman angle versus a senior angle inside the Test Easily, okay? So now we're actually inside of the Test Easily account that we actually used in the tracking video. And again, we're going to actually go back to the campaign that we actually made first time round. So what you need to do is you need to turn on A/B testing, right, or multivariate testing. Now for testing angles, I use A/B testing, but once I've actually found the best angle that converts, I then switch over to multivariate testing, okay, and I'll try and find the best combination of elements within my specific funnel. So all I'm going to do is go back to the campaign and press A/B testing and turn it as on. And if you're wondering how to set up campaigns inside of Test Easily, go back over the tracking video and watch how I set up the campaign there. But we've already got a landing page inserted inside here, and all we're now going to do is we are now going to go back to our campaign right here on the manage campaign screen, and we're now going to press the cog icon under actions, and we're now going to press A/B test. Okay, so I'm going to open up A/B testing. Now what's going to happen inside of Test Easily, which is really cool, is your actual landing page is going to load up right here. And if you want to set up an A/B test, you literally just have to double click on any element within your landing page, okay? And it's going to set up a different variation of your landing page, okay? So what I love to do is I love to make my first landing page, my variation A, which is my control. Okay, so this is the actual landing page, the normal landing page variation, and we're actually going to test against this control. Okay, now all we need to do to be able to make another version is we need to press this plus icon right here, and we can pretty much press version B. Okay, and we can add a new version, and we can also rename it if we wanted to. So as an example, again, we have this specific landing page geared towards an old person, but we can actually change this landing page and actually gear it towards a young person. Because again, people might want to buy it for their younger daughters. So I can then test a different headline as an example and start making almost like a different landing page literally within seconds. Okay, so let me show you this. So now I'm on version B. I'm gonna double click on this headline and let's make a new headline. Let's call it this. Okay, so let's put tragic. Oops, spelled it wrong. The tragic. Girl's life could have been saved by one simple device. Okay, tragic. Girl's life could have been saved by one simple device. Whoops, Tragic. Girl's life could have been saved by one simple device. Perfect, right? Now, if I press apply, look what's going to happen. Okay, if I press apply, literally just like that, a new headline is in place. Okay, so what we can now do is we can also double click on this. Okay, and then we can actually change this image to a new image. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a new image of a father and daughter and press apply. And look what's going to happen. Okay. Look what's going to happen. So you can see now that the image has changed right now to the image of the father and the daughter with this new headline. Okay, so again, we've got this headline right here. Tragic, girl's life could have been saved by one simple device. And then we've got the father and daughter. What we can also do within Test Easily, which is very, very, very cool, and then no other tracking platform as well has this ability, is you can basically literally within the editor use dynamic personalization. Okay, so for example, people are more likely to respond to a marketing message where they feel like it's just for them. And a lot of people, they like to respond to stuff like news articles if they feel like it's a news article that is within their specific city or within their specific area. Okay, so what you can actually do is if you actually use this drop down with this person right here, is you can actually insert dynamic bits of text into the visual editor, and that would actually display information about your visitor on the landing page. So as an example, if we actually wanted to put their city, for example, or the country or the time and date, the date or time, the UK date referral, whatever it is, you can literally insert that inside here by using this dynamic text. Okay, so for example, let's put city, city news. Okay, so city news is going to be the first part, and it's going to say tragic, girl's life could have been saved by one simple device. Now if we press apply, what's going to happen is inside the visual editor, you're now going to see that it's going to say city news, but when somebody actually comes from a campaign URL, they're actually going to see their city populated here, and it's going to say their city news tragic, girl's life could have been saved by one simple device. Okay, now again with that you can also do other stuff, right? So for example, if we actually wanted to, I don't know, put the actual date, right, of the actual visitor, right, from the actual campaign inside of the landing page, right, then we can actually do that. So let's say for example, if we want to double click here and change this static date to a dynamic date, we can actually delete this, press here, and press, let's put date and time, okay? Or let's just put date, right, for example. Let's put date by whoever this person is and press apply. Then dynamically what's going to happen is the actual date, right, of the user is going to appear right here to make it seem like it's an actual recent article, okay? So again, we've got this information right here. And all we now need to do is we now need to change this age where it says 68 to now a different age. So for example, this one could be 23, right? Instead of 68, we could press apply. And literally, instead of California, right here, we can now put, let's put the actual city right here. Okay, so press apply. Perfect. Okay, now, what's going to happen is if we now save this, okay, and press active right here, what we're now going to see is that we now have literally a new type of landing page, okay? We have a new type of landing page compared to our first one. And if we actually visit this actual campaign URL, because now we have a new angle, now we have two angles, okay? So if we now visit this campaign URL, and I'm call it testing. So we visit it once. We're now going to see our original landing page, okay, right here. If we visit it again now, look what happens, okay? We've now seen our second landing page, okay, the second angle variation. We now can see that we have our city, okay, our actual city that we're in right now. City news, tragic. Girl's life could have been saved by one simple device, okay? And I could probably bold this as well, but we now have the actual date that is right now. The date today is the 1st of September, which shows right here. And it actually shows our city as well right here. Okay, so we can actually make this bold if we want, highlight it, change colors, whatever we want. And it's actually going to dynamically make this, right, personalized for our specific country, our specific city. And it's going to literally personalize the landing page for us. Okay, so now we've actually got a woman, a younger angle. And here we actually have an angle for older women, okay? So again, we can actually do this and make multiple angles very, very quickly. So let me give you guys an example of this. Okay, so we've got version B right here. Let's just leave it as is. And let's say, for example, right, we wanted to actually make a new version C, to be able to test maybe another set of angles. So as an example, we might have, let's double click this. And let's put parking dot attacker wasn't expecting this. What happened next had him running like a bat out outer hell. Okay, bat outer hell. Okay, perfect. So we've got popular parking lot attacker wasn't expecting this. What happened next had him running out like a bat out of hell. Okay, cool. So that's going to be a cool headline. So we've got this headline going on right here. And if you wanted to change stuff as well, like change a specific color, okay, so let's say, for example, I wanted to change this to another color. We can literally do that by clicking this and then choosing whatever color you want. If you want to make it italic, you can do it. Anything you want, you pretty much have full control, right, within this actual editor, okay? So if you want to make it italic, we can do that, okay? Now that we've done that, let's actually add another image. And this could be good for another young person. So let's actually, let's use this one as an example. Perfect, okay? Perfect. Let's leave it as that. And again, we can actually have the dynamic text there as well if we wanted to. But for the example of this video, let's just leave it as is. So we're going to press save here and leave it as active, okay? Save it. And all we now need to do, if we want to make one more version, maybe for another older person, okay, is let's press add. And version D. Let's make this one real quick. Let's make this one real quick. So what we're now going to do for this one is let's use an angle of the police. Okay, so recent attacks on seniors in, and let's put the city. So again, we can personalize it for the actual specific visitor. Prompt police to issue public safety alert urging older residents to carry new safety device. Okay, perfect. Right, and we can press apply right here, and we can now edit this specific image with a new image and press apply. Perfect, okay? And we can save this. Now, what's gonna now happen is now if we go to our campaign URL multiple times, you're now gonna be shown the different actual landing pages that we literally created just now. And you're gonna actually be surprised, right, how different they look literally in seconds, okay? Now, please keep in mind, a lot of people, they don't actually read below the fold, which means they don't actually scroll down, right, to be able to really fully read everything in depth. a lot of people, they make a judgment of what to read or if they should even exit out based on what they see as a headline, the image, the header, and all the stuff that happens as soon as they open or as soon as the landing page opens and fills their screen. So look how different, right, these landing pages are. We've got two landing pages or two landing page angles that have to do with older people, okay? And we've got two other angles that have to do with younger people. And you'll be surprised that you might find that maybe the landing page to do with older people, right, might do very, very well. And the landing page to do with younger people, right, might not do as well, okay? And as an example, right, inside of Test Easily, once you start getting traffic, right, through your campaign, let's say, for example, you start to get traffic. Let's say that, let's actually refresh this actually. So you guys can see this. So you see the 6 clicks that were actually generated to our campaign URL is right here. And if we actually go to the statistics of our campaign, you're now going to see that the actual ad, which we labeled as testing, is showing up with the 6 clicks right here. And if we go to test results, you can actually see the traffic that's being generated to each specific version, okay? Which is very, very powerful. And you can also compare each of the versions if you wanted to. And let's say, for example, if you wanted to compare with specific metrics, you can choose that. But let's say, for example, we want to leave it as is. We can now see how one version compares to another version in their comparison graph. But right now we literally only have visits. We haven't got any click-through rates. We haven't any got clicks or any conversion data. Okay, but you can see how powerful this is already. Now, let's say, for example, again, let's say that we found, okay, that the older person angles were doing better, okay, versus the younger person angles. So let's say, for example, these two landing pages were converting consistently better than the other landing pages. What I would then do is I will start multivariate testing, okay, the actual landing pages with the older person angle, okay. So I'll try and find as many combinations as possible of images and maybe headlines, right, to do with older people, and really test different combinations of images, headlines, and whatnot to be able to find the best converting funnel, okay. So if you want to multivariate test, let me show you guys how to do that real quick. All you need to do is you can literally swap your campaign from A/B testing to multivariate testing with just one click and press save campaign. Okay. Now, what you're going to notice is if we refresh our actual campaign stats right here, what you're going to notice is that now if we actually click on the cog icon on the actions, we can actually go to multivariate test now. And let me show this for you. Let me actually close all these tabs. And now you can actually see the same landing page right here, but instead of the A/B testing editor, right, we're now going to have a multivariate testing editor within Test Easily. Okay, and again, making a multivariate test of making all the combinations is not something we have to make each combination one by one. Literally, all you need to do is upload all the text, right, headlines that you want there, upload all the images, right, that you want, and Test Easily would automatically create all the possible combinations for you, and it will automatically rotate all of the combinations for you so you can find the best combination of elements within your specific landing page. So as an example, okay, let's say we want to actually test this headline, which is the original headline, against a new headline, okay? So let's say, for example, we have the headline of, I don't know, let's create a headline right now, of 68-year-old woman stuns male attacker with new safety device. Let's put new $30 safety device, and we can put attacker runs away like a coward. Okay. And let's put again some personalization as well. So I love to put personalization to make it seem unique for the visitor. So this news, and let's put $30 safety device. Let's put just $30, right? $30 safety device as red. Perfect. Okay. So we have this specific headline. Okay, that's now going to be rotated against this specific headline. And let's say, for example, we want to add another headline. So we can maybe use recent tax on seniors is on Racinias is on the rise in, let's add the city. In the city. This little safety device could prevent a loved one from being attacked. This little safety device, perfect. Okay, so we now have 3 headlines. Okay, so all we now need to do is press apply, and quite literally, if we now save this, okay, we're now going to see that there's now going to be 3 headlines, right? 3 variations of this specific headline rotating against each other. Now, let's say, for example, right, that we actually want to rotate these headlines against different images to find a good combination of headlines and images for older people. Okay, we can now double click on this image, and we can now press choose file. And let's select the original image right here. And let's add another image, okay? That might be quite shocking. So let's add this specific image, okay, right here. So we're gonna open this and press apply. And then now, once we save this, okay, we're now gonna see that there's been 6 variations of the page that's been created, because now automatically Test Easily is going to rotate all of these 3 headlines against these 2 images to find the best combination of headlines, okay, and images on your specific page, okay? And you're gonna be able to see this in a second. So what I'm now gonna do is I'm now going to get my campaign URL to show you guys this in real time. So again, let's put it as testing 1, 2, 3. Let's open up this specific campaign URL multiple times. Okay, so we've got this one specific headline with this specific image. Let's open it up here. We've now got this specific headline with this specific image right here. We've got this headline with this specific image, this headline with this specific image, this headline with this specific image, this headline with this specific image. Okay, so now we've got this one that says, "Old woman scared the living crap out of creepy attacker with this simple device." Okay, so we have the original headline with this specific image, which is actually quite congruent as well. This might convert very, very differently to this one, for example, where it says, "City News, 68-year-old woman stuns male attacker with new $30 safety device. Attacker," it should be, instead of attacked. "Attacker runs like a coward," right here. Recent attacks on seniors on the rise in the specific city. Again, personalizing it. This little safety device could prevent a loved one from being attacked. Old woman scared the living crap out of creepy attacker with a simple device with this image. This headline with this image right here. And this headline with this image. Okay, so again, all of these headlines and these images are going to be rotating against each other. And guys, like, this is crazy how different even just some of these headlines and images look against each other. And even if you wanted to change stuff, okay, let's say, for example, if we wanted to make, I don't know, the specific city, right, a different color, we can go back into the visual editor and amend that. And it will literally be made live on your page instantly. And again, you can do this with the Shopify store. You can do this with the ClickFunnels page. You can do this with these type of CPA advertorials. You can do this with any page within Test Easily, literally in seconds, which is why Test Easily is literally a godsend for a lot of people. But literally, guys, this is how we're able to improve our conversion rates, because 90% of people running campaigns, they're not doing this, okay? But testing can literally be the difference between you having a conversion rate where your campaign is breaking even or losing money versus a conversion rate, right, where it's really, really making money and making you a lot of revenue, right, on the back end, right, making you a lot of profits on the back end. So as an example, we've actually refreshed this. Let me show you guys how the stats now look. So if we now go to our campaign stats, we're now going to see, right, the specific ads, right, that we actually put on the end of our URL. But if we actually go to the test results part right here, we can actually see each specific variation, and we can see the actual performance of each variation. Okay, so let's say, for example, we click on it a few more times. So there's a little bit more stats. And let's say, for example, we've got to click on, let's say, for example, we've got to click on this specific variation, and we went to the offer. Okay, so we went to the actual Tigress alert offer. What's now going to happen is if we now refresh our stats inside of Test Easily, we're now going to see all of those clicks. And if we now go to test results, we're now going to see those 2 clicks that were made on the actual campaign URL for this specific variation and the specific landing page click. Okay, so again, we can actually preview the variation right here that we actually just clicked on just now, and we'll be able to actually see and compare the conversion rates, or the EPV, of every single variation, okay, that you've actually made, and actually be able to see the performance of the ones that are making you money once you start getting conversions through Test Easily, and the ones that are not making you money, okay? And the beautiful thing is, all you now need to do is you now need to pause the specific variations that are losing you money, okay? And you then need to focus in on the variations that are making you money, okay? And again, you're going to get this once you start getting conversion data. Right now, I don't have any conversion data, which is why everything is at 0. But once you do start getting conversions, you're going to be very, very, very shocked as how one variation can literally be extremely profitable for you and another variation could be not so profitable for you. And it's just because you're taking the time to test, see what resonates with the audience the best. And then from that point, you want to basically put all your ad budget behind that. Okay. So as an example, all we now need to do, if we wanted to actually pause all of the bad variations, is we can literally change to the summary graph. We can pause this variation, this variation, this variation, this variation, this variation. And now all of our traffic is going to go to variation 2, okay, which is this specific variation right here. And literally within seconds, right, if we actually open up this campaign URL multiple times, we're now going to notice that all the traffic now is going to go to variation 2, okay? It's now not going to be rotated because we've now, let's say, for example, we've now seen that this one is the best. We'll now send all of our traffic here, and we'll be able to completely outconvert our competitors, okay, that are using old, outdated methods of trying to figure out stuff within their campaigns. And you'll be able to go out there and absolutely crush it, okay? So again, testing is quite literally, right, the lifeblood off of my campaigns, okay? The reason why I've been able to become so successful in this game is because I test, okay? I do not stop testing, I keep testing, okay? You want to make sure that you make these tests, you test multiple different elements, you test multiple different angles, test multiple different variables. You want to make sure you keep on testing. And once you finish testing, you want to keep testing even more, okay? I can't even stress to you guys how fundamental it is, but if you guys don't test, you guys are leaving tremendous amounts of profits on the table, okay? And again, the person that tests the most makes the most, and winning campaigns are never found, they're created. And the way they're created is through testing, okay? So again, hone in on this video. You might have to watch this video a couple of times. I cannot even lie to you. I went through a lot of stuff. I went through a lot of content, but I really want you guys to understand this and get this for yourself so you can apply it in your business and actually see the results of this. Again, Test Easily is an absolute godsend, so I recommend every single person watching this, you create some experiments with Test Easily. And again, if they have a 14-day free trial, okay, so even if you don't like it, you can get rid of it after 14 days, no risk there. And I'm going to leave a link as well for Test Easily below this video. But guys, make sure you go out there and apply this content. Make sure you go out there, create tests, and start seeing the results on your business. And I can virtually say that it's probably going to increase your business. It probably won't decrease your business. But again, you need to make sure that you test, okay? So again, we're going to go into part 3, which is all going to be about optimizing, and part 3 is going to be extremely valuable. I know you definitely would have probably got a lot of value from this part in itself. Okay, let me know as well, right, what you guys think of this content below this video. But I'm gonna leave a link as well for part 3 as well somewhere around this video if you guys want to watch that. But definitely make sure you take a lot of notes. Make sure you go out there and test. Make sure you go out there and really look at your campaigns and see where your EPV is higher than your CPV. And it might be one specific variation, or might be one specific variation, right? And a combination of other elements, okay? But once you start to identify that, test the angles, test the variations, you're going to probably notice that your campaigns are going to turn around very quickly from being not profitable to extremely profitable. And you can center all of your content and all of your creatives around those specific things that are profitable for you. Okay, so again, it's your boy Mr. Opulent. Make sure that you tune in for part 3, which is all going to be about optimizing and about increasing your numbers and making sure you can maximize it so you can really scale things up. It's going to be extremely valuable, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.